just like that, they buy it. They eat it up. You pander to them, you thank them. I mean, really, people, I thought you were a little bit smarter than that. I mean, it's just so easy to say the name of the city. You cheer.
Hey, Stephanie,
you cheer. I mean, just come on.
Welcome to the A Show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the A Show, episode 71. I am your host, Justin, with Meelz. We are the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcast. What is poppin', Meelz?
I
tried to do a little different. This week.
I mean, it's the same question that I'm never ready.
I said, what's poppin'?
Same reaction you're gonna get. I don't really know. Like,
next week is gonna be what's cracking.
Okay, well, and then third week it's your boy. Like, you know,
week after that's gonna be.
That's the first thing I learned. A lot of like seasoned professionals of people who work on camera, they were like, the lamest thing you could say is "it's your boy." Da 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 da. Like, that's what I've learned. So when you're on camera, if you're ever interviewing someone on camera, please do not say "it's your boy" because.
I'm about to do "it's your boy."
You about to? All right, well, you know, it's your boy up, man. I remember your short-lived series on the hundreds. I remember that. It's your boy and all over that, man.
Yeah, all day, because that's just what we had. That was a cool era being on camera when I was at the hundreds.
Yeah, and bubble tea or bubble tea, I forgot.
Boba tea.
Boba tea. Listen, use all types of adventures, bro. Come on, you've lived a great life.
A full life.
Don't say full. It's not full yet. You live a great life. Come on.
A little full. It's a little full. Anyway, thank you to you guys. Just before we start, for everyone who has subscribed and squared up with us on the new A Show channel and the new A Show network. Man, our first numbers, I was expecting a drop off. We did spectacular the first week. So thank you to everyone that followed us from the RNC radio channel to the A Show channel. And if you haven't told anyone, or if you know, tell a friend, obviously tell everybody that this channel exists, and tell everyone about the A Show and Spot Callers and all of the new shows that we're going to have on this specific network. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think we even got reviews that we're going to get to a little bit later, right?
Yeah, we definitely got reviews on it. But yeah, once again, thank you for everybody for sharing, just subscribing, just carrying over, and just understanding the brand. I feel like we got a lot of loyal listeners. I'm very, humbled and proud of that.
We should be humbled. Shit.
Yeah. And, I just hope we continue to grow so we can continue to bring you guys amazing content. Like, imagine what we're doing now. Like, we're still in kind of like the beginning. We're not like the beginning, but we're still in like the early phases of just this entire thing. Imagine what happens when we really blow up and the crazy things that we can do. I mean, we about to do this. We about to get this Mark Madness cracking. And just imagine what we could actually do if we had the massive support of people. So make sure you continue to share, continue to subscribe, continue to rate, continue to just like and, do everything social media-esque, for the A Show and everything RNC really. Just all the shows there and the A Show here, man.
So, Meelz, we have Mark Madness starts next week.
It starts next week, Monday, man. March 3rd? I want to get this date right. March 4th. Starts March 4th. So The first round of Mark Madness will begin on March 4th. It is a tournament that we announced last week of, 32 amazing WWE superstars. And we're trying to find out who is the best of the decade, who has owned this decade as we're coming to a close on, whatever this decade is. Is it the teens or... I guess we would call it the teens. Yeah, we're trying to find out who is the best of the decade, and we've got a full roster lined up. And go ahead.
Yeah, we have a full 32 roster figured out. We've got the first matchups figured out. We'll find those out on Monday. But I'm just going to go through all of the names on here. This is from everyone from 2010 to 2019 going into 2020. So first up, we have AJ Lee, AJ Styles, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Becky Lynch, Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, Brock Lesnar, Cesaro, Charlotte, Chris Jericho, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, Finn Balor, John Cena. Of course, my Alexa actually turned on.
Jesus Christ.
She's like talking. She's talking to me right now. Where was I? Like John Cena?
No, she's still talking. Tell her to shut up.
Alexa, stop. There we go. John Cena, Kevin Owens, Kofi Kingston, Mark Henry, Neville, Nikki Bella, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Roman Reigns, Sasha Banks, Seth Rollins, Sheamus, Shinsuke Nakamura, The Miz, The Undertaker, and Triple H. Why is the Triple H is the last one, but why is The Miz on here?
What do you mean? Why is The Miz on here? The Miz is, if there's anyone on this list, there's the amount of people on this list who's actually been in the WWE for an entire decade and has actually done well for themselves consistently through this entire decade. The Miz, are you kidding me? Asking why The Miz is there. You know, The Miz main evented WrestleMania once.
All right.
I'm just letting you know. He main evented WrestleMania, WWE champion, multiple time Intercontinental champion, multiple time tag team champion. He's actually hold more tag team titles than the Usos currently. US champion. He's pretty much at least a 2-time Triple Crown champion. I mean, the only thing he's missing is
the Universal, right?
I mean, yeah, the Universal. But, you know, who's counting?
Okay. So the first round matchups, they are very spicy. I'm so excited to see what people think about these. You'll be able to fill out your own brackets, correct, Meelz?
Yes, you'll be able to fill out your own. Well, here's the thing. So we're going to do, how we're going to have this thing set up is the first round matchups will be starting on March 4th. Monday, March 4th, you'll be able to vote on everybody in the first round matchups. That means we'll be knocking down this 32 to a Sweet 16. Right. The following week, which will be March 11th on Monday, we will be doing the second round. We will knock it down from Sweet 16 to a grade 8. There you go, grade 8.
Grade 8, yes.
The grade 8. We will knock it down from the Sweet 16 to grade 8, and from there on, we will have a show. We will handle it from there, and maybe I'll do this cool thing where I'll put the bracket up, and we can,
bracketology.
Yeah, we can do some fun things with it, but we will be deciding. Ultimately, we will have a special show, a special bonus show, sometime probably before, the month ends, obviously, where we, from your picks, decide who is the superstar of the decade, who is the best of the decade, who ruled the roost, who did everything like that.
And we'll have some special guests chiming in on this one as well.
And as we should. I mean, we shouldn't be the only voices here, but yes, we will have some. I'm very interested in a lot of these first round matchups. I think we did a great job. And just, I mean, it's going to be very, very spicy. It's going to be very, very entertaining. And I'm looking forward to see who is the best of the decade, according to, the A show, the people of wrestling. Yeah.
For sure. I cannot wait for this. This is going to be freaking huge. This is the type of content and stuff that we've always wanted to do, on our own network. And, clearly this is something that's a great kickoff to this. So definitely check that out. I can't wait for Monday. So let's go into No Holds Barred for the week. Very, very big week for wrestling, period. I think without a doubt, like it just keeps getting crazier and crazier on the road to WrestleMania so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot happened.
Yeah, a lot happened. So first off, and we're going to talk more about this when we actually talk about Raw. Roman Reigns is back. He announced his remission that he's in remission from leukemia. Very huge news. I remember, I think it was literally the day after we put out the A show that they announced he was coming to Raw.
He was coming to Raw for a special announcement, special update. First of all, he didn't just announce he was in remission. He was like, "I'm in remission, y'all." And it was just like,
the way he said it was so classic, it could have been on a Fresh Prince episode or something.
Yeah. I'm in remission, y'all.
Hey, I'm in remission, y'all.
Yo, it sounds like something from Fat Albert or some shit like that, right? Oh my God. Nonetheless, I mean, I think just amazing news. There's a ton of speculation when those announced. It's like, is he going to announce this? A lot of these things end up with people announcing their retirement. We've had Daniel Bryan, we've had Paige recently, we've had Edge, we have multiple people who just they've went away for a certain time. It was kind of speculation on an update of their health, and then they come back and they announce their retirement. It was great to have some good news to kick off Monday Night Raw that Roman Reigns is in remission and Roman Reigns is really wants to get on the road to WrestleMania at this point.
Right. And honestly, on both ends, pretty much unanimous positive, reactions from the announcement and from the announcement that he was going to be on Raw. I think a lot of people at first we were kind of unsure about, and I'll get to that in a second as well, since I can actually talk about that now. But a lot of people were very unsure about it. I just really want to say that I really love how everyone kind of came together on this. And we will of course talk about the other side of that in a second. But how did you feel about it?
I thought it was an amazing moment for Monday Night Raw in general, just to see the WWE universe. As much as we've had our qualms about how he's been booked and how he's been, and how he's been perceived, and they're fans of his and there are people who aren't fans of his. Now that everybody sort of came together for this incredible moment. I mean, New Orleans it was Atlanta. I'm sorry. Whew.
Yeah.
New Orleans was last week. Atlanta really came through, and it's a wrestling town nonetheless, but just the reactions that kind of just set the tone for a really awesome night on Monday Night Raw, and just the announcement of it, even him going on Good Morning America the following day, having that interview with Robin Roberts, it was just incredible, and spreading awareness, just letting people know how this has affected him and how he's managed to bounce back, and we thought he would be out for much longer than this, but damn.
Let me tell you guys, since I can talk about it, I guess.
Sure.
How incredible this comeback is. I remember telling you, Meelz, in January that he was probably coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard in January that was a possibility, I was like, mother of God. There's no way. He went away in October, was literally that was better than John Cena. This is better than when John Cena went out. He came back for the Rumble.
I mean, it's a much bigger magnitude at least. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I had been sitting with this for a while, and, there's a lot of stories about, they just found out the week before. I was like, no, they knew a long time ago he was coming back, and they knew that they wanted the time to be right. They wanted everything to be correct for it to happen. I have been very interested in how they were going to reintroduce him, and I thought that this was a perfect way to do so. I know that there was, and we'll just kind of go right into what we another thing we're going to talk about. The other side of this announcement was a lot of people saying, on one hand, it's how come he wasn't missing any hair? How come he didn't look bad? Or how come he didn't look like this, that, and the third? And it's just there's people like fucking Meltzer. There's people even just people who claim to be wrestling fans or they're wrestling fans. And you saw the ugly side of it this week.
Yeah.
And you saw the ugly side from people like David Bixenspan, people who, want to kind of galvanize the fake cancer crowd. The people who thought it was faking it was a work and shit like that. And it's just how could you, in any case, if WWE was to make this a work, what's the end game for them? What they get bad publicity from that. They do Susan G. Komen every year. They do all types of Make-A-Wish shit every year. You think that they want that on their fucking hands? I am literally at my wit's end. I'm very tired of wrestling. And I put a quote on this because they're not real fucking journalists at this point. Wrestling journalism is not real. It's fake. It's fake, Meelz. It's not real. The integrity and Meelz, you're right as well. I consider you a journalist.
Right.
That there are certain ethical things that you have to, that come with being a journalist. Now, what kind of fucking journalist calls doctors and says, now, is this real leukemia?
I mean,
what the fuck? What the fuck? Like what type? What? In any case, like there's no doubt about it. WWE does really fucked up shit, but on a human level of cancer, of a real disease, you think that they would be faking this? It's insane. Like people have literal brainworms, like literally.
Mm-hmm.
Like I looked at something else that Bixen Span said this week. He tweeted something like, I love how they did it, but I would have loved for them for Roman. No, I got a tweet right here. Talk
about it. Bring it up.
It's Reigns' call, of course, but I kind of wish he explained what type of leukemia he had, so we could slow the roll of the fake cancer crowd a little bit. Why do we care what the fake cancer crowd has to say about anything? You're a published fucking writer. You're a fuckboy. Straight up and down. You're a fuckboy. Or other accounts. Sunday night's main event. Awesome that Roman is in remission. How long till WWE works this into a storyline and turns it into an angle? You think like this is the first thing people think of?
I think just in terms of this, I thought I echo all of your sentiments in terms of just the lack of overall journalism towards this, and actually just the lack of overall human compassion towards this. For them to just assume that this is some sort of angle, or how long until WWE turns into an angle, all they got to. I think they have the. I think they're thinking that. I think there are a lot of things they're sort of holding on to from WWE's past, and maybe this is from back in the day where people still have, thoughts of like, yo, didn't they do an angle with like God? Didn't they do an angle with illegitimate son? A lot of different things. WWE has changed a lot over the last decade and a half, like a lot in terms of their, outreach to the community, a lot in terms of how they handle their business, a lot of who they hire, a lot of diversity in front of the camera and behind the camera. They've transformed a lot. They've really grown in sort of and you said there's a level of human compassion with a lot of these different things. For people to question the legitimacy of leukemia, to me, just doesn't make sense.
On a human level,
it doesn't. To me, it seems like something to sort of grab on to create a conversation that doesn't need to be had. Nor you're going to get clicks nonetheless. You're going to get clicks whether it's Roman Reigns returns from remission. Let's find out the story behind this instead of trying to fraud or defame or delegitimize just his condition, which is crazy to me.
What do you get out of it? There's nothing that these people get out of it. Like there's literally zero that you get out of it, other than trying to look like. And let's be fucking honest here. Unless you're trying to look good to a bunch of fucking marks on the internet who love AEW. There was like even fucking Kenny Omega like putting up a Twitch stream when he was making the announcement. The fuck is wrong with people? Like what's wrong with people? Like this shit is disgusting, dog. Like it is literally disgusting. And to see Meltzer, who honestly, if you listen to this fucking podcast and you listen and you fucking subscribe to Meltzer, stop listening to us. Off top, he's fucking canceled. I'm the new fucking Meltzer. I'm better than him. Off top, fuck him.
Right.
Straight up. He can see me. For real. I'm riding for Roman like I know that. Like I almost slipped up and said the N-word. I'm riding for Roman like I know him.
Right.
Like fuck all these wrestlers. It's not real. Satin, all of them. Fuck them. Only one I respect, Sean Ross Sapp. I fucks with you. That's it. And that's because Sean came to me like a fucking man one time on some shit. You know what I mean? And I told him, you better back up. And then we straightened up. But yeah, that's how I feel about it, man. It's a lot of fuck shit going on in this wrestling. Like until further notice, wrestling journalism is done. If you are a wrestling journalist and you want to write about this shit, holla at me. Start a fucking blog. We will put your blog out there. Shout out to the Daily Smart, number one. If like these are the people that's aggregating the real shit. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he aggregate the fake shit, but he aggregated real shit most of the time. But it's like, come on, man. Come on, man.
the crazy thing is, I think all of this is trying to do the sort of smokescreen thing because I think a lot of what their news come from is very counter WWE and presenting the opposition as opposed to, continuing to massage the product. Because WWE massages their own product and they have fans massage their product, but to present the alternative gives them a sort of voice that they believe they have. But in this sort of situation, there's no you don't sound good. Like you don't even sound smart. Like you go ahead.
Biggs put out a story a week ago about the NXT call-ups and said, "Man, I would have loved for them to talk for them to stop acting like Gargano and Ciampa, where baby faces are completely rewrite their whole storyline." He don't watch NXT. What kind of journalist is he? Like, yeah, you did a couple good stories, but you washed, my dude. It's over. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Get that check clear from Cody. Fuck, boy. Anyway, moving on, man. Moving on. I'm getting hot. I'm getting real hot right now. I told people I was talking spicy, right?
Listen.
I told them I was talking spicy.
You got it, bro. You got it.
Anyway, moving on to some good shit.
They already dead. You don't got to.
All right, shit.
Let's talk about more good news. We got some good news. We got a lot of changes that's going on in WWE.
Dude, WWE's blowing it up. They're really blowing it up. They signed Bruce Prichard, who was like literally one of the guys that kind of helped shape a lot of the eras. I mean, he's been around for over 30 years of WWE. And, of course, he has a show called Something to Wrestle with Conrad Thompson, another one of them. All right. But whatever. That's neither here nor there. But yes, it's a huge get. I think Bruce is someone that, and you immediately saw the change on Monday and Tuesday. He's someone who, and I think I said this before, or I said this, personally to everybody, but I was like, he's someone who is one of the great producers in wrestling, period. He's someone who loves he loves pre-tapes, and you saw that in like the angle with Batista on Raw. Like he loves shooting things from a different angle. It looks very movie like. He's someone who has evolved with the time. He's someone that creatively, one of the best minds in the business. And I think the fact that he now has been away from the game and he now understands a lot of modern things, he could apply the way that things used to work to the modern characters now, and you're already fucking seeing it. You're already seeing it, and I think that's spectacular. I think that the fact that WWE took him and did not allow AEW to get him, fucking huge. I think he's the key to making sure that these new guys that are coming up from NXT, that they're going to look good, because he's the guy who introduced a lot of guys in the late 90s. Right.
I mean, I think there's a lot to be happy about considering this. I think it's great that he still has his podcast. Yeah. It still can also do the things, and God knows how much time he has in the day to actually do both.
I don't know if he'll have enough. I honestly do not think it will last that long. Just knowing how crazy, because he's Vince's direct right hand now, from what I understand.
Right.
He's replacing one guy we're going to talk about in a couple minutes.
Interesting.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, Bruce Prichard, only good things. I'm interested in why he signed back. That's really the kind of story I want. I mean, I'm sure he'll say it on his podcast. I'm sure he'll run through that story, but I'm really interested for someone who was burnt out for a long time. So maybe this isn't a long-term thing, because at this point, he's just been going through so many different things, but he seems like he's kind of got new life, especially with the success of the podcast, especially with being away from wrestling for a long time and just kind of being able to enjoy it as a fan. Maybe that's rekindled his love, but I'm really interested in sort of the story about why he decided to re-sign with the WWE. So
yeah, me too. Really me too. Oh, absolutely. I think that it's a huge get. I think of anyone who's still out there and creative, I think you miss a lot without a mind like Bruce. I just think he adds so much, and being able to just blow it up and get some new blood in there, even if it's just Bruce, like he still provides something somewhat of new blood in that. But speaking of new blood, it's also announced this week from the actual person himself. Dave Schilling has signed on for a writer for the WWE. For the people who don't know who Dave Schilling is, he's written a lot for Grantland and Vice and The Ringer, The Guardian, as well as Bleacher Report. Really great writer. His work speaks for itself as far as that goes. Completely surprising that it was Dave. Once again, another great signing because he is a person of color that's going to be in that writing team. You know, when Kaz left WWE, I thought it was like I'm not really sure. Like, are they going to have someone in there that matches that? You know, that knowledge. You know, you got to have somebody in the room that matches that knowledge. I feel completely good with Dave being there. He's an incredibly smart guy. Just off of Dave and Bruce alone, I think that we're going to be seeing a lot of changes, a lot of positive changes, and a lot of like things where it's just like, yo, we could really be in a really cool little renaissance here as far as creative goes in WWE.
You know, my experiences with Dave Schilling is, I don't know him personally, but I do. I listen to the Masked Man podcast.
Yes.
Previously, which he was the co-host on for a very long time. And he's someone, you know what? I'm just glad to be able to know these and know these writers that are coming up and know that, you know, they are genuinely fans. I feel like before the sort of creative team, it's kind of like the secret society type of deal. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, we don't know who's in it, but we know we don't like what's going on. Right. But now, and it's not that I'm saying like, yo, you have someone to direct all your things to, like Dave_Schilling on Twitter. You can direct all your complaints there. But it's the fact that you kind of know these people and you know that they're fans and you know what they've done and you know what they've contributed outside of just being on the creative team and how much they're fans of this. And you can kind of trust their decisions, trust in the things that they do, and trust that, you know, it's not just some TV producer coming in and trying to write this thing. It's people who understand and know professional wrestling. So congrats to Dave Schilling on this.
Absolutely. Also, big announcement for the Hall of Fame. I think this is like a long time coming. I honestly thought he was already in this shit, but
I mean, I was.
It doesn't matter. It's again, the Honky Tonk Man announced for the WWE Hall of Fame. Huge. I mean, it's one of the last few huge names they still have there.
Is it?
I think it is. I mean, Honky Tonk Man. Like, it says a lot that we thought he was already in there.
Yeah. Honestly. I mean, well, I don't know. I never grew up on a Honky Tonk Man. I didn't know much. I knew he was a long-time Intercontinental Champion. That's kind of all that I know. I know he's related to Jerry the King Lawler. I know he lost the Ultimate Warrior and lost the belt there, but I really have no real true recollection of the Honky Tonk Man. But I do know he's a long-time figure in, you know, professional wrestling. Even today, confirmed for the Hall of Fame, 66 years old. He made a cameo on Lucha Underground. I'm literally just reading off of Wikipedia, but I mean, listen. More power to him, I guess. Like, I don't know.
Cool. It's cool. I mean, I didn't grow up on him either. I think it's just one of those wrestlers that you look at and you're like, oh, okay, well, you know him, you know. And,
right.
And again, I think the fact that we thought he was already in means that his ass should have been in there already.
It's like Honky Tonk Man and then Jeff Jarrett and then Elias. It kind of, you know, the
bleeds together.
Yeah. So, congratulations to the Honky Tonk Man. I mean, get it while you can, my friend, you know.
AEW watch for the week. Very light AEW watch. But we've seen 3 official releases. We kind of talked about Ty announcing his release last week. Then Hideo Itami 2 weeks before that.
They really hit him with one. They were like, oh, you gone. Listen.
It's like they remembered. It was like, oh, shit.
They were just like, all right, don't come back. But yes, Ty Dillinger's gone, officially gone. Ty Dillinger, he probably has a 90-day no complete. I don't believe in those 90-day no complete clause. I feel like they shouldn't. Those things shouldn't exist. Get it why they
pay
do.
You out. They pay you out, and it's to basically
prevent people from Lex luring it on TV again and showing up, or prevent a Rick Rude situation where people show up on 2 shows at the same damn time. I get it. I just feel like it's just bad. I mean, yeah, I guess they pay you out. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's your severance, and it's like, hey, you got 90 days to not talk shit about us. I think that's also what it is too. Can't talk shit about them.
People will forget about them.
I think they've already forgotten about those too. The big one is the big firing this week, and this was like a not even having a fucking website announcement, Arn Anderson was released as well. Reports are saying that it was after an extremely bad shouting match with Vince McMahon that he was let go. Arn Anderson had been in the company for fucking years, behind
the merger of WCW and WWE. Quite frankly,
yes. Yeah, honestly, and he'd been involved in a lot of on-screen stuff as well as things behind the scenes. You can see him probably breaking up fights during the show.
Big fighter, breaker-upper.
Yeah, and honestly,
highlight of his WWE career: spine bustering the Undertaker at WrestleMania 18.
Liddy,
Lou will never forget it.
Liddy. Honestly, I think if you lose Arn and get Bruce Prichard, I don't think you miss anything there. I think you actually gain. It's like addition by subtraction there.
I don't know people's relationship with Arn Anderson. And not to say that he's not, but I just feel like you've been in the company for a long time. I mean, he was there for 18 years. He's obviously had a relationship. I don't want to say that like I don't want to give him. I don't want to treat him the same way that we treat Ty Dillinger, where it's like you can go or not. Honestly, next man up. Because I do believe he had a sizable contribution for the last 18 years in WWE, and a lot of people respect him backstage. A lot of people respect him just in the ring in his career, and I'm sure he's on AEW watch. I mean, you talk about Arn Anderson, you talk about WCW, you talk about Dusty Rhodes, you talk about Cody Rhodes. That's like a 4 degree of separation right there. So.
If he is going to AEW, you know how I feel.
I'm sure he is. He is.
Fuck him.
No, well, no, come on, not
Fuck
Arn.
Fuck him. We ball. Fuck him. We ball.
No, Arn.
Yeah, fuck him. We ball.
Arn, come on.
You go to AEW, you're dead to me.
Not Uncle Arn.
Fuck him. We ball.
Yeah, well.
And that's AEW watch. Oh, actually, no. There's one more. There's one piece of news. Cody said that they're looking into running stadiums for AEW events.
God bless. That's all I can say. Good luck, my friend.
Good luck, buddy. Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's get into the reviews of these huge episodes of Raw and SmackDown this week. Both excellent fucking shows.
You know what I'll say about AEW? Good luck. That's all I'll say. And not good luck in part of me, we've been talking about this, and a lot of my disdain from it comes from the very terrible media shilling, no pun intended to Dave Schilling, but you just got the name. But I genuinely believe if they can start just something new and something fresh, maybe something will work. And maybe it'll, continue to happen in WWE as well. I see they're doing a lot of partnerships and a lot of different things. I do generally think good luck, but at the same time, it's just like, I just hope it's not the same thing. We got a couple months till Double or Nothing. I'm interested in see what they're going to do.
Whatever.
I understand. I understand your disdain, but
my disdain for that is just mostly from the fan point of view, and even them. No, fuck that. They're galvanizing these people. They are exciting this conversation. These are the people that are. It's like they might not have said anything about the Roman thing, but I feel as though like. Here's my thing. It's like them not saying anything is actually a problem. You feel me? Where it's like. Like why did the AEW account even say like congratulations to Roman?
I don't know. I think they're worried about different other things. I don't even know who the social media person for that is, but I understand what you're saying. I understand 100 what you're saying.
I feel that by not saying anything, you're allowing it. And it's the same thing it's the same issue that they had with people, talking about.
But WWE will never say anything about good luck AEW. Like
they don't got to.
But at the same time, it's like, why would I return that sort of favor? Like, and Triple H wouldn't go from like even on.
But they're not like bowing down.
I mean, but no one's bowing down. Like to me, I get the disdain, but this is still like an ambitious endeavor, and it goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? Like it kind of goes both ways. Like, you're not going to see Triple H or anybody saying like good luck AEW. And you can't expect that from AEW to sort of the things that happen in WWE. WWE don't need their luck. Honestly, WWE is huge. WWE does stadiums. They did a stadium last month. They're going to do a stadium next month. Like they're fine. They're good. They don't need their luck. I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that this entire just new thing. I'm interested in seeing what it'll bring, and hopefully it'll be good. But we can't confirm, you know. I understand. You can go on to Monday Night Raw. We can talk about Raw.
All right, so let's go into Raw. Huge freaking show from Atlanta. A lot of things announced. A lot of things happened. We'll go from the top with Roman's return, and let's just kind of talk about the implications for WrestleMania. I know he said on his speech, we're gonna wait to talk about Mania. We'll get there when we get there. But it has been announced that Roman will actually be on every Raw starting literally Monday. So we'll be able to see, and it doesn't look like he'll be on Fastlane, which is fine. It's fair. I don't expect to see him in full contact or in a full match, but I do honestly expect him to be at WrestleMania. And from what I'm seeing and what I'm looking at, like I do two things. I either not do two things, but I think there's two ways here. I think that Dean might get a match against like Lashley or someone, or Roman might get a match against Drew, or we might get a tag match with Roman forgiving Dean, and they tag against Drew and Bobby.
I think they should tag against Drew, Bobby, and Corbin at the same time. A little 2-on-3 action.
That's fair.
Yeah, but you know what? In terms of WrestleMania implications, Roman Reigns, I mean, he didn't get in the ring, but the man is Superman punching, people off the apron. I think he got a lot of people excited. And the reunion with Seth Rollins, a little hint of what we're doing with Dean Ambrose. Also,
how did people not know? Like, we knew already. But it was like, how did people not know that they were going this way with Dean, like, turning face? Like, it was a little bit more, because the thing is, they announced he was leaving, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, just because he's leaving doesn't mean they're going to turn him face. They're leaving because they're obviously planning on something. I was watching it unfold, and I think it's genius how they did this, where it was like in the weeks leading up to this, they were slowly making Dean the face again.
You know what? I don't know if they were slowly making him as a face as much more people didn't want to boo him after they were announced he was gone. Like, he was still kind of teetering. He had matches against EC3. EC3 is supposed to be the good guy. But people weren't booing Dean Ambrose. And I think people generally don't want to boo Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is a goofy guy. And quite honestly, we talked about it, I think last week or in the chat or something. For some person who doesn't like hokey shit, like, the man thrives on the hokiness of it all.
He's the hokiest of hokey.
He's the hokey toke man. Like, he is, whoa.
That was good. I like that.
All right. Well, he just thrives on it. And I think just this like third Shield, fourth Shield,
fifth shit
reunion. I mean, it works every time for me, quite honestly.
Yeah, I mean, they're clearly the most over guys, and I think you see the gulf of just the talent gulf when he's gone. You even if Roman's not in the title picture, you need Roman around.
You need that presence, you need that star power, you need that attraction, and Roman Reigns definitely presents that. Yeah.
Yeah. They were like, it just proved like they were woefully unprepared for Roman to be gone. I think Kaz said it best in the tweets that night when he came back. It was like, it was almost like Tom Brady going out. It was like everyone was lost. And even just all the performers on the show that night, everyone brought their A game. Everyone's been bringing their A game like before. Now that Roman's back, like you can just tell the level of quality of the show is just way, way better on Raw, at least.
The crowd was incredible. And I think that even showed in the first match after Roman Reigns' announcement, where you had that fantastic tag team match. To Ricochet and Aleister Black versus the Revival. I mean, the people were great for that match.
Listen, we said this last week. I think Lynn's being said again. They are really setting Aleister Black and Ricochet up to be the next guys. And I think that's very smart to do. Even with Roman back. You feel me? Like, they're still giving these guys this push. They could have easily been like, all right, let's have them lose this week. Roman's back. They're staying the course. And I have to applaud WWE for the past 8-9 months for showing constraint on certain shit, even with just Becky. They show constraint for things that, like, I thought that they would have blew their load on already. Like, them not, what they do with Aleister and Ricochet is fucking crazy. I love this match, like you said, Meelz. Like, how do you feel just about seeing these two guys on both shows They're over. They're extremely over.
So I think it lends itself just to the star power that they do. I think the athleticism of Ricochet, and we talked about this last week about he's not even needing sort of the mic skills that everyone's just like, he doesn't have mic skills. Like, my man is a superstar. He looks like
a great promo.
He wrestles like a superstar, and it's the presence. I just think it's the presence overall. And then I think with Aleister Black, it's the look. And actually the working in the ring. I think everyone kind of knows that he's a good worker. You can kind of tell who's going to be good and who's going to be bad. Like, you can tell the Aleister Blacks from the Dana Brooks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can tell. And then it's also just the unique look that he has and the unique presence that he has, and what WWE has done by creating these unique entrances and these unique feels to these WWE guys.
I almost feel like Aleister was big time. I said this on Twitter. I was like, Aleister looks like he belongs in the main roster, so that when I look at him in NXT, he just looks weird. Like, it looks very like big time act in a small pond type thing. It's like, right. On the main roster on Raw and SmackDown, he looks like that entrance works. It pops every single time. Mm-hmm. And on NXT, it's like you kind of see the difference. It's a very different show.
It's catering to a very small room, to a very large superstar and a large presence for the guy. I think Ricochet could work anywhere, and he has worked everywhere.
But like, it's so rare that you have an NXT talent that was already ready for the big time. Like Velveteen, I feel like Velveteen, he'll still have some work to do on the main roster to make that act wide. You know what I'm saying? And more than just a personality change. Aleister out the box already had that. Ricochet, we knew he was going to be a star when he got there.
I think there's a few superstars who just generally benefits from just a bigger stage. I mean, and we talk about, Aleister Black. Finn Balor is another name that comes to mind. Shinsuke Nakamura is another whose just presence is just too big for the NXT brand. And it's not that they're better than everyone. It's just that
they're ready.
It works. You can, from the front of the room to the back of the audience, from 13,000 people behind, you can still see that they're a star. And I think that's what Aleister Black shows when he shows up in the ring. And then their win on Raw and their win on SmackDown, because even the SmackDown match,
I thought it was better than the Raw match.
Yeah, I agree, and it was a lot more competitive, and it's great seeing just how this roster is transformed to just this full NXT. Because you think about everybody in these two matches, how they've come from NXT, and it's really the old NXT ushering in the new NXT, and how far people have come, and all these other different things. Like, it's just great. It's just great.
Yeah, I really enjoy that match. They did great. No Gargano and Ciampa on either show, I believe, this week. No, right?
No. Maybe it was their SmackDown performance.
They weren't on Raw. They weren't on Raw because you only saw Gargano on Raw, and you only saw Ciampa at the end of the show.
I hope Ciampa's okay.
I think he's fine. I hope he's fine. Now that I think about it, I forgot all about the that happened last week. I forgot all about that.
I mean, Sheamus is all right, but Yeah,
because they weren't on SmackDown either. In fact,
they were promoted for SmackDown, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of good. An interesting note. I didn't even remember the injury.
Yeah, they were promoted for SmackDown, and then the match got changed, and we'll talk about that on SmackDown. Honestly,
yes. Let's get into Ronda Rousey's promo. Or match. I mean, let's not even forget about the match. She had a really good, solid tag match with the Riot Squad. I think their best effort yet. Really like that match a lot. But then the promo after, a lot of people are like,
a ginger douche.
A ginger douche, yes. So the story here is that Ronda is basically tired. Becky came out, of course. This is the only Becky sighting we had all week. She was then arrested, which will play into the end, which I thought was brilliant. She gets arrested after attacking Ronda, and Natalya got punched for no reason.
Is it really for no reason? Like, come on.
So Becky shows up and does Becky
because
things.
She could is why she punched Natalya, honestly. But
absolutely.
Go
ahead. She shows up, gets arrested. Ronda is at her wit's end, as she says, and she cuts a promo on Stephanie saying she wants both Charlotte and Becky at WrestleMania. which kind of upends a lot of the predictions that I had about how they're going to make this match. But Stephanie comes out and says, "No, we're not going to do it." And then Ronda kind of says, "Hey,
Ronda said, I want Vince." She's like, "Where's Vince? I need to speak to Vince." And Vince doesn't come out, but Stephanie comes out, which to me is just like, oh, interesting how
the assistant manager comes out.
Right. Well, listen, okay. Well, we'll try to get you some free passes, and we'll try to make you accommodate you in that way. But no, I thought this entire exchange, it's a very I've been wondering for the longest time of how they're going to get to this triple threat match, and this is definitely an opening. This is something where he's just like, well, I'm either going to give me what I want, or you give up me as champion, and it's going to work. I mean,
yeah. She dropped the title on the ground, and she walked away. She took her ball and went home, so to speak. I think this is a smart way to lead both of these characters out of Fastlane. I had originally been theorizing that the Ric Flair thing was going to set up a Charlotte and Becky match, but it seems like they're just going to straight up do it, which is smarter than me. I don't think we need another Charlotte and Becky match. And I think I guess they're not going to be on Fastlane, obviously, and we're going to that leads us into them making the match within the next 2 to 3 weeks, which is smart. I liked it.
I think we're going to set that match up at Fastlane. I think, Fastlane doesn't necessarily need a match, but I do think it needs like one of those. I mean, remember last year when we had Ronda Rousey signing her contract at Fastlane? I think we need a segment like that, like Ronda Rousey makes a decision on pay-per-view. Or it's just like, will she or won't she? She's, given this ultimatum. Let's figure it out at Fastlane. Let's make a pay-per-view out of it. Let's bring Becky and let's bring Charlotte and let's make it happen. That's how I would book it. #Meelz booking. But
it could work. Shit, manifest it.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
I like the segment.
Bruce Prichard could come back. Your boy is right there.
Hey, you better back up. Finn, I put this on here because I really like the match, but Finn Balor versus Lio Rush on the show.
You really like Finn Balor too. Don't even lie. Come on.
I never said I didn't.
Who said you didn't? I just said you like Finn Balor.
I'm saying I really like Finn Balor, bro.
Finn Balor stan. I know.
I like Finn and Lio Rush. I like Finn Balor and Lio Rush.
You like Finn Balor. No worries. You like him like how I like the Miz, of course.
Here's my thing. You know who I stand. I know who you stand.
I know.
I stand Nakamura. I stand Finn Balor, and I stand Aleister Black. Those are the 3 people. Like I will always give them at least 4-star matches. Always. Wow. I'm biased.
Good to know.
I'm biased. And Leo is rising up the ranks. I really, really liked Finn Balor versus Lio Rush. They got a really brisk 8 minutes to put on a really dope match. Leo's wrestling more. Do you feel as though they're going to turn him face pretty soon with what happened after the Finn match?
Yeah, I mean, they ain't gonna turn him heel. I think he's doing, you know what? I think they could hold off until this turn until WrestleMania. Okay. I don't think we need to turn them. I don't think we need to see Lio Rush versus Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. But I do think you hold off the turn until, and then you have a Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose versus Lashley, McIntyre, and Baron, and then Lio Rush turns on Bobby, and that's how it turns the tides, and blah blah blah. Like I think you get a bigger reaction and a bigger moment off of that.
Okay. Oh, because it's a 3-on-2. Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
I think you get a bigger moment off of that. But if I see them turning Lio Rush into a face, and quite honestly, he's a smaller guy. He should, and I think it works for him to be a face, and especially if he's going to be competing on Monday Night Raw, which I hope so. It'll work for him. I think it'll work.
I think it'll be great. I'm bummed that we might not see him on 205 Live, but that place is a fucking wasteland anyway. Yeah. So
the champion just took a 2-week hiatus to go back to Melbourne, Australia. So
yeah, good on him. Yeah. Let's get to the final segment. So the whole time, the whole time we thought this Ric Flair thing was setting up something that it did not set up at all. I think I had theorized, okay, Becky's gonna come out and she's gonna crash the party, so to speak.
I love a good swerve.
So it's like 10:56.
Yo, Flair isn't out yet. I'm like, what is going on here?
They're announcing all these people.
They still have not gotten used to no overrun. Like that's what I'm thinking. I'm just like, what is going on here?
But they swerved us all. So Ricky the Dragon Steamboat comes out. Stink comes out with
God, don't
the
call
less
him.
the less said about Steve Stink Borden, the better. He comes out, and Triple H comes out. They're
He
saying,
fired Arn Anderson 4 days before his best friend's birthday.
"Fuck him, we ball."
Oh, that is trash. Go ahead.
Fuck him, we ball. Yeah, you don't cross the boss. Like, remember he used to say, "Don't cross the boss, motherfucker."
All right. Well,
Anyway, so we cut to the back, and remember we had heard that Batista was going to be at the show.
I didn't hear that shit.
Well, Wrestling Observer had announced it literally 30 minutes before the show started, or
Really?
an hour. They said Batista was going to be there. They're keeping him secret, and everyone was like, "Oh, they're going to keep him secret because it's going to be a secret surprise. They might be setting up Triple H Batista, but not the way that we got the match here." So,
Oh my God, I'm glad I didn't hear that because I was genuinely like, "Oh my God!" My genuine reaction was, "Holy shit, it's Batista!"
So Batista, they cut to the back. Very cool showing Batista dragging the cameraman from another perspective.
A cameraman filming his own camera brethren being dragged like some sort of fool.
Yes, because Rick hasn't come out. His music's playing. He drags him in. Batista says, "Get a look at this," basically. Shuts the door. All you hear is Ric Flair getting pummeled. And then he drags him out. Batista says, "Do I have your attention now?" What?
Okay. Well. All right.
Do I have your attention now?
Are you happy you did that now?
Do I have your attention now?
No, you doing too Undertaker into it, man. You gotta do Big Dave. This is you gotta go Big Dave on this. You gotta go Big Dave. I can't do Big Dave right now. Maybe next week. Next week
You should have did Soulja Boy though. You really should have did Soulja Boy.
Listen, new of the week, bro. Come on. Listen, Batista coming back. Not mad at it.
Didn't we? Well, here's the thing. We were all waiting for the other shoe to drop on who the part-timer was going to be this year. If it wasn't going to be Taker, I think it's pretty obvious it's not going to be Taker. And I think
I just thought they weren't going to have one.
Yeah, they're always going to have one. Always, as long as someone can go.
Right.
That's going to be Punk's old ass in a couple years. So I mean, everyone comes back. So I'm cool with it. I really love that they're continuing a storyline from October. And a storyline from in between that with Batista's interview saying they're not answering the phone. Basically, they're saying they don't need me. I love crossing that shoot territory into the actual storyline. I love the way it was shot. I love the fact that when Hunter got to the back, that Batista was not there. I loved all of that. I think that it raised the level of intrigue and it made you want more. And I think that's what Raw's been missing. It's been missing a factor where it's like, okay, what's going to happen next week? SmackDown does that consistently every single week. Raw, not so much. And I love that Raw did this week. I think Raw, to me, even on a week where SmackDown had a crazy surprise return, Raw was still the most talked about show this week. And I think because a large part of that was also, obviously Roman, but obviously the closing segment really did a lot of wonders for the show.
That was incredible. You know what? I just thought it was a great way to end Raw. And this was all a ruse. I feel duped. I feel hoodwinked. I feel bamboozled.
Good. That's what they're supposed to do.
But it was good. It was good. Big Dave's back. Big Dave with the nose ring. He's like 50 years old with a nose ring, but he can pull it off because he's Big Dave.
A blue nose ring, crippin'. That's crazy.
A blue nose ring. That's crazy, bro.
You out of
crazy.
Control.
Hey, that's crazy, but it's true.
Damn. That's what should have been planned when he did it. That's Future's crazy but true should have been playing when he did it.
Oh my God, he looks good.
Pay me my respect. My watch chains and my nose rings.
Listen, Dave looks good. Dave looks good.
He's been waiting for this, and you know what? Give him his match.
All right,
give him the match.
Let me answer your questions. Let's say the match goes good at Mania. Match goes off without a hitch. You planning a little Dave Batista run on Monday night? Not something like weekly, but like you get him. We finally get let's say a Batista versus Brock match. Something we've never seen.
Let's go. Brock can't go hard on him though, because like Batista got an actual job. So,
well, yes, yes. But
I think coming off of that, like I think your best bet if you're coming off of that and Batista, I mean, win or lose coming off of that, Batista, your first thing to do is like you do a Batista AJ, or you do a Batista Finn Balor, or you know what I'm saying? Like you have them mix it up with some of the new guys. I don't think you just keep them straight to part timers like Triple H and shit.
I just think the Batista Brock match, these are two people who literally, as Brock leaves, Batista's coming up. And then as Batista leaves, Brock comes back. Right. And they're two people who just haven't crossed paths. And I'm not saying it's like the ultimate, like, never before seen match, but I do think, listen, you booked that at SummerSlam next year in Toronto, or wherever the hell it's going to be. That's money for me. So I'm thinking, I'm thinking, let's get Dave on the phone and let's try to get at least more than one match out of this. So maybe he does his his Jericho New Japan run.
You gotta think the match, like the big match isn't Batista Roman, it's Batista Rock. I think that's the match.
He's been talking spicy about the Rock too.
Yeah, I think next WrestleMania in Tampa, you do it there and you have him retire. You put him in the Hall of Fame that year next year.
How do you feel about WrestleMania in Tampa?
It's easier to get to, but if I like, there's nothing like Tampa is like, there's nothing in Tampa, bro. Like there's nothing there. I'll go because it's not cold. Like I'd be on the first thing smoking because it's not cold. Like my biggest reservation about New York is that it's outside. Tampa it'd be at least manageable. It's probably gonna rain on your ass, but it'll at least be manageable. But it's like WWE is always gonna go to Florida because that's literally like the shit that they love to do. Like that's their home base, honestly. Yeah. That's their second home. But Batista also lives in Tampa. So I mean, I think you have the match against The Rock to send them both off. Honestly, put Batista there, and you can hold off on Rock for a little bit longer to put him in again.
This is true.
True. But SmackDown, really another great, excellent show. I think that
left off on Raw and how you kick off SmackDown is just oof,
bruh. And the thing is, they can switch. They can turn the switch on anytime they want. Meelz, any fucking time they can do this. It's insane. So the story is, Kofi was going to do a contract signing with Daniel Bryan at the top of the show.
Listen, all his flowers, bro. Don't skip over that. We had like an 8-minute presentation on Kofi Kingston's accomplishments. I mean, they're building up Kofi. He debuted, won his first Intercontinental Championship, United States Championship, Tag Team Championship, New Day, all this other things. They were clapping it up. I almost shed a thug tear. I was just like, damn, Kofi Kingston, 11 years.
And hearing Shane talk about him so glowingly is also really, really cool. Kofi comes out.
The same sneaker Slack chat. How about that?
Yeah. Kofi comes out, cuts a really good promo. Vince McMahon comes out, doing his Becky Charlotte Lynch shit. And he says, you know what? Kofi, I mean, just listen to his verbiage here. Like, it's very clear where they're going with Kofi, but I'll talk about the reaction to this in a second. He says Kofi isn't qualified enough, basically, to do this. Brings out Kevin Owens, who is back. I love the crowd here because the crowd booed him being taken out the match, cheered loudly, went fucking unglued when Kevin Owens came back, then realized what had happened and started booing again.
I'm unglued when Kevin Owens comes back. God damn. What a return to SmackDown, of all places. The man strolls out casually, like he knew this was new sleeve. Got a new tattoo sleeve.
Everyone loves leaving and getting new tattoos. I don't know. I'll never understand it.
I'm not sure if I approve of the sleeve, but you know what? He a grown ass man.
I don't know what it is.
It don't look right, bro. It just don't look right.
It's like a blob of ink.
Yeah, you're not Alistair, baby. But like
does Alistair have the best tattoos in the game right now in WWE?
No, I haven't seen all of Alistair's tattoos, but I know Punk is tight because he came back and got sleeves. But Kevin Owens strolls back in. First of all, Vince McMahon, just like, we don't have enough star power. You know who's going to sell this pay-per-view? Kevin Owens.
Tremendous.
Daniel Bryan not saying a word for the entire 11 minutes of this promo. Just not saying a word. Just
KO either.
KO just strolling in. And you know what? The thing is, I don't think Kevin Owens is supposed to be a heel.
He's not.
And I think people are losing out on this just because he's replacing Kofi Kingston in this, but I don't think Kevin Owens is meant to be a heel. I think, and a lot of it came from his post promo, which just kind of, if you watch
not only that, he teams up with Kofi on the show and doesn't turn on him.
Right. That's also true.
Like it was just to get to the reaction of this. I literally saw people saying racism, and I was like, but Meelz, did I not say this was going to happen?
Yeah, but
I might have said it was because he was going to lose, but same thing kind of applies here. It's like he was taken out as a benefit to the storyline.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm not even gonna hold you. I feel like 80% of people know what the hell was going on.
No, man, I saw people going.
You're always gonna have those people. You're always gonna have those people who are just like, it's unfair, but it's like it's also clearly we know what's going on. Clearly, we all know what's going on. Like they made the decision, a great decision either way, because we've all been hearing KO versus Bryan at Mania. You've been hearing that. Mm-hmm. So to have this is the kind of like, in terms of if that was true or not, they kind of switched the tables at Fastlane is incredible to me. Because it shows how much patience they have on it. And it's the build of this. This makes it a bigger moment. Kofi Mania is going to be a bigger moment than it is because of this moment right here. And this is kind of what we were talking about last week when we were hinting towards, like, maybe this happens at Money in the Bank. Maybe it doesn't happen at WrestleMania. You want to build it up. You want to build that, adversity for Kofi Kingston. Like he's had the moment where he showed what he can do, and he's definitely showcased it. But to build that adversity and with Vince McMahon saying he doesn't deserve it, and sort of now we come back and it's just like, all right, well now he's going to show everybody, and now he's going to fight against that, and now he's going to obtain the opportunity. It's a better story than we had before. So yeah. I think this is incredible. To those of you,
I didn't like the Fastlane thing. Like I said last week, I didn't like the Fastlane thing. I was like, it's too obvious.
What do you mean?
It was too obvious he wasn't going to win the Fastlane.
Yeah.
And people were going to be pissed. It was too. I was like, I love the switch because I was like, come on, like at least with KO, he will not be hurt losing here.
I think they're recognizing that the Kofi Bryan thing is a Mania thing, which I like that they're recognizing, because in any other era they wouldn't have. I mean, talk about the Roman's 8 matches at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. There was a time where Daniel Bryan, he returned and he seemed like the guy to go for it at WrestleMania again. And they're just like, nope, we're going with Roman. Nope, I don't care. It don't matter. Nope, sorry, Roman.
I appreciate their constraint in not even putting Roman in that Brock match. It doesn't that doesn't seem to be the program. It seems to be like Roman's gonna go after Drew and them, which is completely fine with me.
I agree. I mean, it's this is what I say when WWE's change in terms of just the perspective they see things, and just the what did I call it again? Just being able to self-realize and take a look at themselves and just be like, okay, listen, this is what the people want, and this is how we're going to do it. But we're not going to say, like, we're giving you what you want, but we're going to make you want, what you want really bad. So, yeah. This entire switch, Kevin Owens back. Kevin Owens is back.
And then we got a match. We got a tag match between Daniel Bryan and Rowan versus Kevin Owens and Kofi. They showed a little bit of kind of like uneasiness being a team. Also, I mean, just look at the fact that Kofi's not teaming with New Day and they weren't even out during this match. Really, really strong stuff there between the two. It ended with Kevin Owens doing a stunner, and finishing Daniel Bryan and pinning Daniel Bryan, so to speak, on the way to the pay-per-view. A lot of people find a lot of issue with Daniel Bryan losing a lot. I think that is the type of character and the type of heel that he is. He is not the dominant beat everyone heel. He is the literal lying, shit-eating, shitty heel where he's just like, hey, I'm going to cheat to win or do what I can to win. I don't find a problem with Bryan losing non-title matches.
I'm a proponent of someone who's like, these wins and losses don't really matter like that. Like
they don't.
I'm still going to be the man. It's Kevin Owens using the stunner. How do you feel?
I'm cool with it. As long as I think there is a lot of moves that he does that he doesn't need to be doing anymore. It like the swanton and shit he used to do. I think the stunner's a cool move, especially for his knees. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. But then again, Austin had a bad back. Maybe from years of jumping on his ass for the last for a decade.
This is true, but it's better than the springboard stunner that Kevin Owens was doing back in the day. So
no, I think that was Cena. Cena was.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. It was Cena. Didn't KO do it to him in one match? Try to do it to him?
Maybe. Yeah, he probably did. Cena was walling. No Cena at Mania, by the way.
That we know of. So
we know of. Okay,
we'll see.
Okay, but we did have a match that made John Cena proud. I think it made John Cena proud.
I think that R-Truth's open challenge was a tremendous angle that once again furthers a storyline that is fucking great between Andrade and Rey Mysterio, that these two just fucking hate each other. Or they're not that they hate each other, they're very competitive. I think that's the storyline between them.
And I think it also furthers the character of R-Truth in a sense. I feel like R-Truth, him winning is incredible. Him having this, I think this showcases him a lot, and he's someone who we haven't seen him since he won the damn belt. So for him to have this,
they had a lot of shit to do. They've had a lot of shit to do on that show. To be fair,
yeah. I mean, we didn't see a lot of things on this show. Asuka's gone again. A lot of people just aren't seen on this show that we thought we were going to be seen. But I did like R-Truth. I think R-Truth is going to make a great United States champion, and I look forward to the rest of his reign for how long it's going to be.
Really love it. I really love the angle there, and R-Truth retaining is tremendous. I think you do this again. You have Andrade or Ray win one, or somebody wins the title, or I don't even think Andrade and Ray need a fucking title, to be honest. But
just give Mania. Mania boys, just give them that.
Give us the Mania match. Speaking of Asuka, Mandy and Asuka was added to Fastlane off screen in a YouTube segment. I mean, SmackDown's a 2-hour show. You barely got any women on the show at all. I think Charlotte was the only representative of the women's division on the show this week. Yeah, I figured that you kind of had to go back to building up these men's programs because, for a very long time, the women have been kind of given kind of like the control of the whole show. Mm-hmm. And I think now with doing the Becky angle, the Ronda angle on Raw, and then doing Charlotte, it would have kind of been overkill. I do feel as though they've not run their course, but they kind of hit the end of this part of the story. So you had to kind of go back to everything else on SmackDown. So I understand why there wasn't that many women in the show this week.
I mean, I thought you had about 4 tremendous matches on the show. And that's really, I mean, I'm sure the women will be featured in an in-ring presence next week. But
a lot.
Just to have these 4, tremendous matches. I mean, the Hardys returned in North Carolina.
Oh shit, yeah, they did return. Fuck, yeah.
They returned in North Carolina. Matt Hardy looks better.
He's not woken anymore, thank God.
Yeah, he looks better. He's obviously slimmed down. He's obviously cut up, but I still worry about his
knees,
hips, all this other shit that's going on. He just runs slower still. You just can't affect that. Maybe some DDP yoga or something like that. The triple threat match we talked about, another fantastic match of just all 3. Like Rey Mysterio is 44 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Just fathom that. And R-Truth is no spring chicken himself.
Yeah. Hanging with Andrade is like one of the best wrestlers in the world. Is not easy.
Boom, a main event that we could, laugh at. Another tag team match featuring the young bucks of, the WWE, Aleister Black and Ricochet. And, it's fine to announce some things on .com. I mean, we got the Fastlane card is shaping up. Mm-hmm. What do we got so far? Let's see.
And we'll be doing predictions next week as well for Fastlane.
Yeah.
What's the card, Meelz? Do you have it up?
Yeah, the card right now is we got the Usos versus The Miz and Shane McMahon, also not featured on the show this week.
Completely forgot about that. And this is a Shane McMahon program that was not featured.
Yeah, well. I mean, Shane McMahon was on the show, I guess. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
For a second.
I feel like Miz should have been just chilling. Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens, WWE Championship, brand new match. I think it's going to be good.
Oh, Brian.
Have we seen this in WWE?
What, Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens?
Yeah.
No.
There you go. That's a fresh matchup right there. We have the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship on the line. The Boston Hug Connection versus Nia Jax and Tamina. I think a fair, good first set of competitors for the tag team championships. I think it's just good. It's just good. And then we have Asuka versus Mandy Rose, and I fear for Asuka. So
I don't think if there were she's gonna be fine. Don't worry.
I'm scared, but
for what? It's Fastlane?
Yeah.
Come on. No.
All right. Well,
no. There's no need to be scared.
And I'm sure I don't know if they're gonna have the finals for the Cruiserweight Classic
on the pre-show.
Maybe kickoff show. The finals we've had.
I say that we will be getting the NXT people on this pay-per-view.
Oh, that would be nice as well.
I think that I don't think you have Revival lose to both of these teams to not do a triple threat between them.
That would be cool.
I do think they will show up in some way, shape, but there are 4 matches on this card, and this is supposed to be a 4-hour show.
This is true.
Yeah, I think you have 2 tag matches, maybe another. Finn's got to be on the show too.
Finn's got to be on the show, yeah, for sure, sure.
I think there's probably 3 matches they're going to announce next week.
Let's see. I think we're going to get some cruiserweight. They've been having the tournament. Drew Gulak and your man Tony Nese has advanced into this tournament. So
turn the fuck up.
So we could be looking at a match, some sort of with that. On NXT this week, you haven't seen it yet.
No.
But Sasha and Bayley are back. A fantastic Keith Lee versus Dominic Dijakovic.
Yeah.
A fantastic match. Really good. Like surprisingly good. And then a great main event with Mia Yim and Shayna Baszler. It's a great NXT show.
I think all of them are great for the next weeks, I think. I do want to talk about how the Dusty Classic is going to kind of intertwine with Ricochet and Aleister Black and DIY as well. Like, very interesting. I love the synergy between NXT and WWE right now. It's like,
they're fixing it up because it's still kind of weird, but yeah.
Well,
it's still. We talked about it was weird last week. Like it was kind of weird.
It's less weird. It's less weird after finding out that Dusty was back.
Yes, all after we find out they were teaming on Monday Night Raw and acting like friends. Like yes, now it makes sense. Now in retrospective, the last takeover ended with Gargano and Ciampa raising the titles together. Yeah, but they're not really like friends.
They've been teaming up to beat people up for like 3 months. They've been setting this up for a while.
Let me tell you this. On NXT, they finally agreed to team up.
They agreed to team up to go after the tag titles.
They finally agreed to team up. They were just like
to enter the Dusty and go after the tag titles.
Because he lost that match. He lost the match against Velveteen. So they need
gold. Let's go
for the tag team titles. Yeah, let's see.
It makes sense. And the thing is, I love that they put these two in tag team, and it means something that they're in tag teams on the main roster because they are tag teams on the Dusty. Like that's what I mean. Like I like the synergy between that, and I love that these matches play out. That they're winning all these matches on the main roster, so that means that they should be shoo-ins to be in the finals at the Dusty. And I like that type of story where it's like they're beating former tag champions, and it's making a lot of sense that way. I'm just saying that like. When these types of things are rolling and it's like a well-oiled machine, they absolutely fucking work. And I think they're doing a great job with the NXT call-ups. Let's hope it continues.
I agree.
So, Meelz, do we have any shout-outs on our iTunes page this week?
Let's see it. So, shout out to everybody. Let me get close to the mic. Shout out to everybody who rated the show. We got a good amount of ratings. Please keep rating on iTunes so we could at least like chart somewhere. It would make my day if we were somewhere in the sports and recreation side, beneath all the cool stuff that's on there. We got a few ratings. Let's talk about. We got a few reviews on iTunes. Let's talk about them. We've got shout out to JFH2C fan on Twitter. Just a great guy overall. I think I played Pokemon with him too. He's a great guy.
He's a longtime listener, longtime buddy on Twitter. Shout out to him, man.
Shout out to him. J5 and Meelz come with the heat every time. Best wrestling podcast out. I can't recommend them enough. Boom. There we go. We have now Rafael de la Metro. This is Amp. It's what's the title?
Yeah, this is Amp. This is Hove. This is fuck Amp.
I'll knock y'all out. Dope podcast.
Shout out RAOP Gaming on RNC Radio. Shout out to that.
Yeah, shout out to Amp. Shout out to Amp. And then we have big homie Tim, who says, y'all tired of hearing biased wrestling opinions? Podcasters all on the mic not telling it how it is, marking out for mediocrity, pushing agendas. Well, listen to today's show, the Kings of Wrestling. So thank you guys for the ratings. Thank you guys, for just the shout outs and all the things like that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, once again,
Mark Madness starts on Monday.
And before we even say that, subscribers square up. I mean, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a fucking friend to subscribe to the A Show on iTunes. We're also on Google Play and Stitcher, and we're also on SoundCloud, of course. Please spread the word. The A Show channel is popping. We are here. Subscribers square up. Subscribe or fucking square up. Mark Madness starts on Monday. It's gonna be fucking huge.
It's gonna be huge. So. You're gonna love the first round. You're gonna love the first round so much you love the second round even more.
I saw the first round matchups and I said, Meelz, you were evil, bro.
Listen, somebody got to do it. But yeah, I mean, I think that's it. That's episode 71 in the books.
Episode 71 in the books. As always, follow us at RNC Radio Live. We have a lot of new shows that just premiered. RSBN had their anniversary show, but they also had their show after the anniversary show this week. Tremendous show. Shout out to them. Pat Pafifi had his mid-season finale of the Cable Box. He reviewed the season finale of True Detective season 3. Really great episode from him. Thank you, Pat, for doing that for 8 weeks or 7 weeks and going with True Detective. He'll be back later, I think in April. I think he may be doing Game of Thrones. I might be giving that away. But I think he may be doing Game of Thrones. We also have the Perfect Play podcast dropping this week. We had The Lookout, my friend, that dropped this week as well with my good friend Ali Omega Man X. What you guys talk about this week, Meelz?
We talked about, all right, so if you're a Dragon Ball fan, we pretty much talk about, we're reaching the zenith of this entire thing. We're talking about the Zamasu. We're talking about the Future Trunks arc, by the way. And we're getting to all the Zamasu and the evils and the how he becomes evil and starts killing people. It's all pretty fun if you're a Dragon Ball fan. Please stay tuned. It's a really fun conversation. It's a really good conversation. And, we continue to bring you the heat every week where, every Wednesday, you can find a new episode of The Lookout as we continue to trek through this season of the Future Trunks arc. So, yeah, stay tuned, man.
Yes, sir. You also have 2 belts. You had an episode of 2 belts last weekend. You had one this weekend. The clock is winding down.
Yeah, the clock is winding down. So we had an episode of 2 belts last weekend where we talk a lot about the new school rappers. We talk a little bit about Blueface. We talk about Sada Baby. We talk about the Baby. We talked about a couple people. We talk about the new albums from Offset and Gunna. And yeah, we'll be back next week for the first part of our 2-part finale, which,
oh man,
it's coming. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned and subscribe also to the 2 Belts podcast, which is,
which is ending.
It's ending. It is what it is.
And also we have Spot Callers, which also ran this week. We and Cyrus reviewed the Stardom 3rd anniversary show, a very weird show. But he and I have some very good conversations about women's wrestling and goalposts, as you say. Really good episode, though. Thank you for everyone who's supporting Spot Callers. You can find that on the network as well. And if you have any ideas for a wrestling podcast or any ideas that you just want to let us know, you want to start your own show on this network, let me or Meelz know. And we can get it going. We can see what's going on. So until next time for the A Show, I'm Justin for Meelz. We'll see you next week for Mark Madness.
We're out.